Hi, my name is Erika. I'm a therapist and mind-body teacher in Northern Virginia. I specialize in helping people deal with negative emotional states and cultivating positive ones. I use a lot of different techniques that are mind-body related, but one of my favorite ones is havening. That's a method that was just created about 7 years ago by Dr. Ron Rudin. It's a psychosensory therapy, meaning that it uses sensory input to create a psychological state. In the past, it was thought that simply having insight or cognition about what was going on was sufficient to change patterns. But over time, we've learned that we actually need to change a felt sense in the body in order to feel better. And one way of changing a felt sense in the body to go from feeling depressed or anxious to feeling good is to use sensory input. We often do this on our own when we listen to music, or we get a massage, or we do something soothing to the body like yoga. But it also can be done in a therapeutic setting to intentionally use certain practices to cultivate a calm state in the body and mind. Havening was created by investigating what kind of sensory inputs causes delta wave production in the mind, delta waves being the slowest brain waves. And the reason why Dr. Rudin was investigating this was because delta wave patterns actually change the way that distressing memories are encoded in the brain. When distressing events occur, our brain tends to form receptors on our amygdala, the survival part of our brain, to scan for dangerous situations or resemble that kind. When we do havening and we invoke a delta wave, we actually cause those receptors to get reabsorbed in the amygdala and they're no longer scanning for danger. Because he knew the importance of delta waves, he studied what kind of activities cultivate delta waves the most. And he found out that actually there are certain kinds of touch that are the most productive of delta waves. And I'm going to show you what these are. They are from the shoulder to the elbow in a simple downstroke of touch like this. They're on the face, caressing the face in whatever way feels good for you. It could be here and here, or it could be the face as a whole. And it's also the hands. Now, if you're touching your face, make sure that you've washed your hands. If you're doing it on someone else, you should wash your hands or use hand sanitizer as well. So the way that the havening method works is that we think of the thing that's distressing us to bring it up. And that way we actually bring up those receptors on the amygdala so they're activated so we can work on them. And then we begin the havening touch so that we can feel soothed and we can allow those delta waves to occur in our mind. But we need to keep our mind busy so that it's not focusing on the distressing event continuously, because that would make it difficult for the brain's waves to actually slow down to delta waves. So what we do is we do some mind games. We think of things to keep the mind busy. So some of these things that we can do, I'm going to give you an example of in a moment, but they include counting by multiples, humming, thinking of things in a category, or spelling words. So I want to actually do this with you right now, and I invite you to think about something that's a little bit distressing to you. Maybe a 5 or below. Something that's irritating, I would say. We're going to test it on something like that. And I want you to notice when you think of this thing, where you feel it in your body, noticing what it's like. And it's very helpful if you can actually give it a score of distress, noticing how distressing it is from 0 to 10. So once you give that score, just noticing that, what you begin to do is a touch. And you actually don't even need to think about it anymore. That's all you need to do with that. You can just take in the soothing quality of touch and just really enjoy it and soak it in. And while you're doing that, and you can either keep your eyes open or close your eyes to keep your awareness inward. I want you to actually keep rotating, keep changing the touch between these 3 locations. If you're looking at me, it can be helpful for the mirror neurons to take in the touch. But if you close your eyes, you can actually think and imagine a little bit more clearly. So the first thing I'd like you to do is to imagine. And again, if you want to close your eyes, go ahead. Imagine that you're in a beautiful location that you really enjoy, that's very relaxing and soothing to you. And noticing what are the features of this place. Noticing if there's water nearby and if you can hear it. Noticing if there's a lot of foliage, trees. Noticing what the ground is like. Noticing what you're seeing around you. Noticing perhaps even what you're smelling. And taking in all of the sensory input and really letting it help you feel relaxed and at ease. And as you're walking here, I invite you to notice that with each step that you're walking, you're feeling more relaxed, calmer, more at ease. And I invite you to count out loud from 1 to 20 as you take each step, feeling more relaxed with each step. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Great. Okay. Now we're going to hum a song together. I'm just going to pick one randomly. I'm going to pick Mary Had a Little Lamb. So I'm going to hum it with you. And please hum with me. Great. Thank you very much. Okay. So I want you to imagine that you are making a fruit salad and that you're going to put some fruits in there that you like and that you already have them at your house. You already bought them. And I want you to think of what they are and say them out loud. So I'm going to tell you what the ones are that I have. Apples, oranges, grapes, pears, pineapple, and strawberry. Okay. And now I would like you to count with me by multiples. We're going to count backwards from 50 by 5s down to 0. So 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, 0. Great. Finally, I'd like you to think about 5 locations that begin with the letter B. B as in boy. So it could be cities, states, or countries. So I'm going to do this with you. So I'm giving you the answers. But this is an example of what you might do yourself. So I'm going to think of 5 places. So I'm going to say Boston, Bolivia, Brazil, Brunswick, and Brussels. Okay, so what I would like you to do now is to follow my fingers back and forth. This is another activity that creates delta wave production. So just follow my fingers as you look at them back and forth. Okay, terrific. Okay, so now I invite you to think about the thing that was distressing you in the beginning and to notice what level of distress it has for you right now from 0 to 10. And if it's not a 0 yet, what we do is we do another round of this and we try to bring it down. So I am going to do another round with you right now just so you see. If you're feeling good, don't worry about it. Just do the evening touch anyway because it actually is good for you to do this touch. Okay, so again, enjoying the feeling of the touch of your hands in these different locations. And this time I want to invite you to imagine that you're on some body of water in a sea craft, in a boat, in a rowboat actually, and that you're on a lake or you're on a river that's big, broad, and that it's a beautiful day and you're feeling really alive and vital and strong, and you're wearing the right equipment, you're wearing the right hat if you need to, or sunglasses, and you're just really grateful to be able to get out and enjoy nature. And you have 2 oars and you're rowing, and as you're rowing, you're just feeling more and more relaxed with each row. And you're rowing at whatever pace that you want to row. I'm going to set the pace because I'm the one talking right now, but when you do this alone, you can set your own pace. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Terrific. Okay. So if you were with me, I might ask you something like, please describe to me your favorite movie or show or vacation or hobby. But you're not with me. So actually, I'm going to describe one for you. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my hobby, but not very long because it might not interest you very much. I love playing piano. I've played it since I was a little girl. Played those little piano instruction books that everyone does from levels 1 to 5 or something. And then when I got to be older, I started playing real composers. Played Chopin and Bach and Beethoven and Mozart. I was a very diligent little piano player. My favorite was Chopin because he's so expressive and emotional, and I love that. Like to play fantasy impromptu and a lot of waltzes. Those are my favorites, and to be honest with you, I still play those every once in a while. They make me feel really like a great outlet of emotion. And actually, there's this great movie about Chopin called Impromptu that came out about 25 years ago, maybe, with Hugh Grant. It was really great. So I love that movie. I've seen that a few times. So that's an example of what you could do to distract yourself with some topic. Right now, I invite you to think about a certain number of things in a category. So we're going to say 5 birds. So I'm going to come up with jay, hummingbird, pigeon, chicken, turkey, and crow. Okay, and now I invite you to count back from 40 by 4s to 0. And by the way, with these counting exercises, it doesn't matter if you get them right. It's just to keep your mind focused on something. I'm happy to pick something multiple that you can do, but I could have just as said, like, start with 74 and go down by 4s. It doesn't have to be an even number that's divisible by the number. But let's start with 40 and going down by 4s. 40, 36, 32, 28, 24, 20, 16, 12, 8, 4, 0. Great. Okay. So I invite you again to look at my fingers back and forth, to move your eyes back and forth. You can also do this with 2 spots on the wall if you're by yourself. You can even do it with your eyes closed, just moving your eyes back and forth under your eyelids. Okay, so noticing when you think about that issue that we started with, how you feel now. And hopefully it's down pretty low, like at a 0 or close. If it's not, you can always do another round. But right now I'd like you to, assuming that it is low, because we do try to get it to be low, like a 0, I want you to notice how you're feeling. Instead of feeling the distress, what you're noticing instead, and if it's a kind of at least a neutral feeling. So if it's a neutral feeling of like nothing really, you could just say that word, like neutral, neutral, or okay, okay, okay. And you might even feel grounded. So you could say grounded, grounded, relaxed, relaxed. Or you might say open, open, whatever word it is that expresses how you feel. And you just keep saying that word repeatedly until you feel like it's not getting any stronger, that the feeling is kind of leveling out, that calm. And just please now, just say it out loud, that calm, calm, whatever word it is for you, saying it over and over again until it feels kind of steady. And at that point, you don't need to keep saying that word. I'm going to teach you another way of using havening, which is really fun. One way of doing this is something called what if, or affirmational havening, where you think about some quality that you want to feel. So say what it might be that you want to feel confident. So what you could say is, what if I felt confident? And you could add other things, like what if things turn out better than I could ever have imagined? What if I'm really talented at what I'm doing? What if I'm going to accomplish great things? What if I'm going to feel really happy? And you think about these what ifs that pertain to the kind of thing that you want in your life. And if you actually are feeling the kind of things that you want already, you can even say those just straight out with those adjectives like confident, 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 confident. And if you want to access that about yourself when you're about to go into a meeting, for example, you could say those words, confident, confident, confident. Or if you're about to talk to your kids and they're driving you crazy and you want to just say calm, calm, you can do that too. Havening is really good at cultivating positive states, but it's also good at addressing the negative ones because we actually want to let those be seen and addressed without trying to paste over positive feelings. So what I actually urge you to do is that if you're feeling distress, to do the event havening, which we call it, to do that havening with distractions until your level of distress goes down to 0 or close to 0. And then once you do that, to do what we did together, which is to feel that, to say that neutral or okay or calm word over and over again so that you feel good in those moments. And then at times, if you feel like cultivating a certain quality that you have, you can go ahead and say those words with those adjectives over again. So I hope that you've enjoyed this session of havening, and I urge you to find out more by looking at the website havening.org. It's a tremendous community. It's a wonderful resource. And if you want to find out more about me, I invite you to look at my website, which is erikaneal.com. Thanks.